the Orangevale Recreation Park District Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, June 10th. I'm going to call it 6:32. The Board of Directors may take up any agenda item at any time regardless of order listed. Action may be taken on any item on the agenda. Roll call.
Erica Swenson, absent. Mike Stickney.
Here. Present.
Manny Merez.
Here.
Sharon Brenberg, absent. Lisa Montes, present. Staff Barry Ross.
Present.
Jennifer Von Ash. Horacio Pisa here on Zoom. Jason Bain. And Melissa Woodford. Everyone's present.
And Nadia.
Oh,
Nadia.
and Nadia.
All right, so we'll go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can I get a approval of the agenda as written?
I move we approve the agenda as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So it'd be 3-0.
We should announce we do have a quorum.
We do have a quorum. We have,
Okay.
there are 3 board members present, and so every item will have to, if it's to be voted on, all 3 have to agree to it. All right, any person may address the board upon any subject within the jurisdiction of the Orangevale Recreation Park District, with each speaker being limited to 3 minutes. However, the chairperson can impose reasonable limitations to the maximum time per person and per agenda item to allow the board to complete its business. Any matter that requires action, we refer to staff or committee for report and action at a subsequent meeting. Item 6A, approval of minutes of the regular meeting of May 13th.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any corrections or comments?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so 5-0.
3-0.
Three, bad habit. 3-0. Correspondence, add a view, it looks pretty nice.
It's working because we are jamming pretty good with our recreation program. So, yeah, I love this ad. It was covered a lot of our summer programs.
Yeah, I mean, is it a big enough size, or is it?
Yeah, I think so, but Nadia?
Sorry, I'm dealing with some tech stuff. Can you repeat the question?
Do you feel like our ads in the Orangeville View are large enough?
So we're doing one each view, so twice a month.
Okay. It looks like it's a half page or something like that. Okay.
And then we do periodically some articles that
Right.
feature us a little bit more.
I guess I should have gone back to, did anybody want to speak to the board?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have anything on my end.
Go back a step, yeah, all right. Don't we want to give the public their opportunity? All right, so they're on the correspondence.
Yeah, the second item was a very nice email we received from Judy Piscata. She's with the AARP and helps with the taxes, and she sent a nice email thanking our staff primarily.
Now, they had to do it a little different. Everybody had to go ahead and make appointments or whatever.
Yeah, I think they normally do appointments anyway, but they had to spread them out, and there was people fearful of the virus, so the numbers may not have been as strong as in the past, but it required a lot of coordination, and Mel and Christina and Kathy were instrumental in getting that done. So, just want to include that, so kudos to them.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's a service that we do, and not a lot of people do it, I don't think, do they?
No.
So that's a good thing, all right. Consent calendars.
I move we approve the consent calendar for items 8.1 through 8.3.
Right.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Let's go ahead and vote.
Perez,
Yes.
Grunberg, and Swenson are not here. Montez, yes. Stickney?
Yes, so we got 3-0.
So item 9 has to be tabled.
Table it.
Yeah, we're gonna, the non-consent items, because you're gonna have to abstain, so
Correct.
we'll put that to the July meeting.
Sure.
Might be the only, there'll be another item we'll have to move to, but we'll get to that. All right, so then we're on to 10. Standing committees, so you want to review the operation and maintenance one?
Yeah, the Maintenance and Operations Committee met on Tuesday of this week, and Directors Stickney and Swenson were the board representatives on that committee, and we also had
Horacio and Jason?
Horacio, Jason, and myself at that meeting. And we were talking about maintenance items, and I'll just give a quick highlight as to what we discussed. The landscaping here at the community center park, primarily trees. We were looking at trees. We have a number of pear trees and sycamore trees with invasive rooting systems that are really starting to damage some of our walkways and our curbs. And they were planted too closely to the curbs.
And also, I think the pears, aren't they reaching, they're not a very long-living tree?
Thank you, yes. Their limbs are starting to snap, and they're becoming a danger in that regard, too. So the plan is for us to come up with a plan within the next couple of months and present it to the board probably in August or September as far as trees we look to remove and how we're going to replace those, and where and what variety of trees we're going to replace with. So Horacio and I will get busy on that. And as far as
I'm not,
Yep.
am I gonna assume, you're gonna get rid of about 10 of them, not the whole park, just by the swimming pool and by the one baseball field, or?
correct. Yeah, we're looking at between
Maybe
10 and 20 trees.
Right.
We may space it out over a couple of years. Yeah, you're right, by the softball field, baseball field, and the, kind of the pool area. So that was the main topic there. And then we also talked about concrete work here at Community Center Park and at Community Park. And the concrete work has already been completed here at this park. But Community Park, there's the concrete walkway, and there's several sections of that walkway that's starting to crack. Some of it's damaged to the point where it could be a safety hazard. So we want to address those things first. So again, Horacio and I will have a plan together, and we're looking at doing some of that work as soon as July.
Okay, and it's already budgeted for this year, right? Or at least, was it $5,000 or $10,000?
It was $5,000 for this park,
Okay.
but it's going to be probably more over there because
Well, we don't have to do it all, we just
Right.
leave it up to you guys
Yeah,
to.
hit the key areas, but yeah, we think we can begin that work as, early in the next fiscal year.
And then, I'll mention it now, I just want to make sure we put money in next year's budget somewhere so we can, because we're not going to get it all, and so we can continue, it's going to be a 2 or 3. I don't mean to say that there's a lot of problems, but
Concrete problems?
yeah, but I'm not sure we can afford to do it all at one time anyway, so. And then the last one was the fire at the,
Well, we had a couple other things. We talked about water conservation.
right.
And we had a pretty good plan, well, things that we need to keep an eye on. One thing that Director Stickney mentioned is being cognizant of some areas within our parks that we may be able to reduce the amount of turf that we have. Some areas that we can convert to ground cover, requiring less watering. We had a few areas that we discussed, and
The overflow parking at the disc golf area, that's grass, and maybe we could start off by putting road base on, and in the long run, maybe work on doing some kind of more permanent, but the entryway has always been a problem anyway, because it's kind of mud, so.
that was probably the largest area that we could
Right.
convert. There were a few others that we discussed as well. And then it's just being more conscientious about, in doing more audits of our irrigation system to detect leaks, on an early basis and repairing those. Responding to our public when they point out that there's leaks, overflow, that type of thing. We talked about the Smud tree removal, which took place at Sundance last week. There were 4 days where Smud was in there for fire prevention reasons, removing roughly 215 trees. And it's very noticeable if you go in there, and it's sad in a lot of ways, but it's also understandable. And, for fire reasons, and, what happened in Paradise a couple years ago with the PG&E lines. So we understand their reasoning, and they listened to Horacio and I about our interest in saving as many trees as we can, and also coming up with a mitigation plan. Horacio and I met yesterday with Sac Tree Foundation folks to discuss replacement of some trees and varieties and
Did he give you the list of shrubs?
I asked both Smud and now Sac Tree Foundation for a list of trees and shrubs that would do well in Sundance, and string. So we're waiting on that, but they both said that they would produce that for us. Swimming pool repairs, the committee agreed that repairing the swimming pool is the district's #1 priority as far as maintenance items goes. And we've looked at a new system called Renosys, and it's a new shell that they would put within the pool. We got a quote from them, and the committee's also very interested in getting quotes for repairing the joint that the leak that's causing the leak, and replastering the pool. So we're working on that. The goal is to have, a bid packet together here in the summer and get that awarded, and then work starting in the fall.
Jason made a good point that the #1 priority is to fix the joint. I mean, we don't want to replaster if we're not going to really fix the joint. I mean, that's it's wasting water, and it's, so I think somebody's going to do a little research. I don't know if it's you or Horacio or.
Yeah, we both are.
Jason, all three of you.
Yeah, Horacio got a couple names already of engineers, and I'm calling them and trying to get somebody out here to give us a good idea.
Right, and then the system that, I don't know who came up with the
Renosys?
membrane.
Yeah,
That's about, looks like about $120,000, and then replastering's 200-ish. And we do have the money. We have the money in OLAD, so I'm not sure we have the money to do both, but we need to do it, we need to do it as right as we can, so it'll last another 20, 25 years.
Yeah, we have 200 budgeted, and then there's other funds available through in lieu fees, reserves if we need to, but hopefully we don't.
And then we also talked about the roof, which we're going to look at in a year or two.
Yep, correct. We're going to try to get somebody out here by October to take a look at the roof, see how bad it really is. It's hard for us to tell until somebody's able to get up there and look. So that's another fairly high priority, because once we know how much work is required, then we can budget that for the following fiscal year. We also talked about replacing bollards with boulders, and I know, Lisa, you were part of that discussion during the planning committee meeting. We brought that also to the maintenance committee meeting, and everybody seems to be in favor of.
So are we just going to have to direct you to do it, or?
Yeah, I'm just asking for your, it doesn't need to be a board vote, just it's my intention to start converting bollards to boulders with your approval.
Permanent, that's for sure.
Excuse me?
It'll be permanent, that's for sure.
Well, then the next time
Yes.
somebody hits it, they won't be able to drive off as easily.
They won't do it again.
That's for
All
sure.
right, I think that recaps it pretty good.
Yep, portable restrooms. Horacio's already on that. Horacio, you want to give us an update on the portable restrooms?
Yeah, I called them date of delivery was, and they said either today.
Yeah, I don't know if they got in today. I didn't check the areas, but today or tomorrow. So they're pretty quick on it. So they're on their way.
Almond and
And Oak and Filbert.
Oak and Filbert, and we're talking ADA compliant or whatever.
Correct.
All right,
Yeah, they will be accessible. So they're going to be placed where they were before, right at the entrances, and where people can access them.
good job. I'm sure the people will like it. It was, when I drove here, the park was every park I drove by was jammed up pretty good.
Yeah.
People are eager to get out.
Things are starting to move, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. And we need to,
Okay.
so that takes care of the maintenance committee, or?
Yep.
All right, then the other one was the planning committee, and we already talked Boulders.
Now, the planning committee, we were looking to identify projects that we could spend our Prop 68 per capita funds on.
And that's what, 180 plus we have to contribute 50, or? is
It's
it-
roughly 200,000 and we contribute 50.
All right, so we
Yeah,
have,
right around there. And the committee, which is Director Stickney and Montez, prioritized a new driveway connecting the north parking lot down to the new property as our top priority, and then, if money is remaining, expanding the playground by the pool and adding more features, adding probably higher age level equipment.
we also look into a trail from the other parking lot over to the pool.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't think
I'm
that
thinking
was-
that,
Well, that'll work with the plan as far as the connecting the parking lots.
Right.
That'll be,
but we've got a plan, and then we'll just flush it out a little later on. Or you guys will.
But I do really like that, the plan of connecting the properties better, and it will allow us to use the new property in different and better ways, including maybe the farmer's market would prefer being down there. Yeah, there's a lot of different options. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that meeting.
All right. Are we gonna have to vote on, or you're gonna come back with,
come back with the
in a couple
quotes.
of meetings?
Yeah, once I get some quotes, I can bring it back to the board.
Well, you gotta have our lighting and our landscape, the architects take a look at it, and
Yeah, let Peter take another look. He gave us the original quote, but should have him look at it again.
Perfect.
see if you can change it, make it
Cheaper.
cheaper, more cost effective.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
We can only hope. All right.
All right. All right, administrator's report.
Everybody's
Item
been very
11A.
busy.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in there, and I'll try to cut to the chase. The first item is, there's interest in the community for a skateboard program. And people know that it's in our master plan to get a new skate park. And there's a lot of kids that know they won't be around by the time that skate park is built. And they want something, more recently. So we're talking with some community members, and also this guy named Sean Latour, and he's with Project Lifelong, which is a nonprofit that's kind of under the umbrella of Sac County Sheriff's Youth Services Unit. And they run a really good skateboard program at a few other middle schools within Sac County.
So this is gonna be an above ground deal?
This would be a portable,
It can actually be put away.
yes, it'd be, yeah.
And can they put it where the future skateboard park's gonna be?
They could put it like in a north parking lot, but Sean's his goal is to have it at Pasteur Middle School until the skate park is built.
All right, well, okay.
He's had the most success as far as especially attracting female skaters. when they're on school campuses. And that's one of their goals, is to try to get more girls skating.
It's a bummer. I would love to see that project at one of our parks.
I would like to see it right there.
Right down there at the new property.
Just a suggestion, I know that.
Maybe we could have him
was
look at it.
Tony Hawks, is he a guy that used to speak?
Yes.
with? I believe he has got a foundation, and I think he contributes money.
Tony Hawk, the Tony Hawk Foundation?
Yeah, well, I don't know the name of it, but I know that, and who's the other guy? The guy that's a skateboarder?
Sean White?
Sean White, he's got one too, so I
Have a Sean
don't
White
think-
board.
So I would have somebody do some research to see if they got
Well, Cliff, the
foundation.
honorary
grant.
mayor, from what I understand, Cliff Wiley, has also has said that he would contribute.
He said he'd contribute 5,000, and
No, that's,
Well, and it's about
That's a start.
Well, it's about 40,000 for the portable.
all right, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's something really reasonable that the community could rally around and help out with.
Right, but I'm,
And something that we can maybe have big day of service, right?
Right.
To help construct a pad. I would hate for it to be at a school, not that I would hate for it to be at a school, someone's gonna take that wrong.
it would be more practical for
I
us.
would love for it to be a part of
Our
our
park.
park, so that we could have some of the programs that go along with skateboards and things like
We've
that.
got,
So,
it could be on the north part of our park there.
Sure, where the farmer's
by those
market
new
is.
buildings.
love to give Sean a tour of that.
I mean,
I gave
because
Sean Latour a tour.
number one, there's a big, huge flat place already that's
Yeah.
set up for future parking.
Yeah,
I mean, there's, well, whatever, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a good base.
I mean, you
Yeah, he
take
is.
them down there and,
I'll invite Sean Latour to a board meeting, and he can talk about his plans.
Wonderful.
I
That
know
would
he's
be
going to
great.
be presenting at the Rotary meeting, I think, in August. But he's more than happy to come and talk with us.
Absolutely.
well,
That
maybe
would be
you
great.
could give him copies of our master plan
He already
and also show him the new area down there.
done it. I've done it. Yep, I've already done both of those things.
I think having him come to a board meeting would be great.
Right.
And then, maybe we can look into, the foundation grants and some of the other things that would help with the funding on that.
It is building momentum, and Supervisor Sue Frost is also in support, and she's interested in helping fundraise.
Excellent.
On May 12th, I'm sorry, did you want to?
Say, if you talk to Sue Frost, talk to her about the property over by String Avenue that the county is not being realistic with.
Okay, well, let's keep on task.
That's,
I want to get some cherries before.
Well, that's actually the next topic, was I was going to talk about a meeting I did have with county personnel about that property on Woodmore. That's going to be part of the Arcade Cripple Creek Trail. And our interest in taking that property over, but not necessarily interested in paying for it. We set up another meeting for next week on the 15th, and that's going to also include City of Citrus Heights staff, because they're kind of behind the trail, and we want them involved in that meeting to see, how that's all going to shake out. But I'll have an update for you soon.
Great, thank you.
And as far as cost savings to Citrus Heights,
well,
county, it would be us taking over the responsibility.
right. And
So they
so
wouldn't
if we're
incur.
going to take over responsibility, they ought to give us the property for free.
Yeah, because, well, for $1 to make sure.
Or whatever.
That, yeah, if we're gonna incur the cost and necessity of the property, they're gonna have to bear the cost. Continuing, so.
Anyway, all right.
Keep us updated.
do.
Thank you.
So the 19th, you had a Zoom meeting?
Yeah, Zoom meeting with Blair Oz, who works with Susan Barnes, who's on the call. He's with SEI Consulting, and he was very helpful in helping explain to me the park impact fees. And I've had numerous questions for Susan, and she's been extremely helpful, and folks with the county, and Blair was helpful in explaining that process. On May 20th, the farmers market began. This is week 4. It's going really well, and the vendors, talking to the vendors, they love this location.
I think it's
It's a great move.
I would have thought, I didn't ever want to say anything because I didn't want to go against the Dairy Queen and the downtown.
They outgrew it. It was a great start for the farmer's market to begin down in that area.
We have probably twice as many vendors, maybe more.
I mean, it just kind of outgrew its space. They had no parking. I mean,
Right.
they lost a lot of customers because, like myself, I'd come home from work and I'd circle around, couldn't find parking, and I'd leave.
Right.
And then I'd get home and I wouldn't come back, so.
The outdoor stage is finally getting used.
But, yeah, the outdoor stage is getting used, and not that there's a whole lot of parking out there now, but at least we can accommodate more than was at Dairy Queen, so we.
Well, people could, I mean, they're parking over here and
Yeah,
walking.
so it's great. I saw some folks on a golf cart coming through as well, so, you know, I'm very appreciative of Joe Ellering and Dairy Queen crew and the Grange who started the farmer's market, and so, you know, Marta and her husband have taken it over, and so it's a good thing.
Right. Yeah, me too. I was grateful for the folks at Dairy Queen.
It's just,
It was important.
yep, just a good thing all the way around.
Of course, the Women's National Disc Golf Championships was held at Shady Oaks and went really well. And Lisa, thank you very much for sharing those videos with us. And thank you, Nadia, for putting those up on the website to share with our
It
public.
was pretty phenomenal. The dinner was pretty phenomenal, so
Good, I bet.
it was pretty cool.
So I went on YouTube, of course, watched those videos, and then I saw several others that were great to see. You know, the pros are signing autographs, and it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of interest. May 23rd, we had a break-in. The next three items are not necessarily good news. We had a break-in here at the pool in the evening, and they knew what they were going for. Chlorine is at a premium right now, and they broke into the pool, broke into the storage room, and they made off with our final 6 buckets of chlorine tablets and another bucket of soda ash. And we've since talked with security, with X-Techs, and helping us try to beef up our security and reposition cameras and upping the quality a little bit in the location, so.
We do any pruning down there? I know some of the trees were in the way. Is that,
That's another item that we need to address, is the
okay, so Horacio, whatever, I talked to Jason and figured,
Yeah, we're going to look at relocating some cameras and then see if we need to prune after that, but, yeah.
Who, by the way, at Nevada Union High School, they incurred the same problem the same week. So they were also hit.
Okay,
The pool and their chlorine and ash tablets were also.
interesting.
so I think staff's got a few plans we're gonna put in place, so we've already done, like, we don't store as much down there anymore. We've got a secondary storage place.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we are addressing that, and, you know, right after it happened, I sent an email out to all the other district administrators and letting them know about what happened to us, and it hadn't happened to anybody else, but I didn't think about schools and, you know, some of the clubs around here that have pools.
Now, I heard about Nevada Union 2 days before we got hit here, and I didn't think anything of it until we got hit, and I go, oh, yeah. This happened before, didn't it, Mike? Some time ago?
Well, I know we had people break in and swim down there.
Well, they broke into the swim, but I think years ago, they took chlorine as well. It's been a number of years,
Well,
though. But
it's
anyway, we won't
possible.
go there. It's not necessary, but anyway, it's,
A couple old guys talking and our memories are gone.
yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, I
so
drink it
then
all the time. Yeah.
the next piece of bad news is we had a small fire at Orangevale Community Park, kind of by the nature area, between disc golf and the nature area, and it was caused by one of our park maintenance workers accidentally using an edger that caused sparks, and sparks caught the grass on fire. And fortunately, it was behind him while he was going forward, and some disc golfers noticed it, and they brought it to his attention, and then staff acted quickly with the help of some disc golfers, contained it best we could. It jumped the sidewalk. Firefighters were called, and they came out and doused it and put an end to it. But it was a lesson as to how quickly these things can spark and
Oh, yeah.
spread.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, damage was minimum. And then the last piece of bad news is we had vandalism at the new property on Building 1. It's one vandal who was caught on camera, destroyed 3 cameras, surveillance cameras, and 2 lights, 2 of the decorative light casings. And he was caught. Jason's surveillance footage was excellent, catching a really good image of the culprit, and Footlow Camino police were able to catch him, figured where he was, and he went there, and he was there, and he admitted to it, expressed some remorse, but the total cost is estimated somewhere between about $850, and that's also including labor, what we figure labor will be to repair it. And now we're working with the group home to see if they can pay for it.
It was the same group, from the same group home that stole Danny's car.
Oh, interesting. So I think maybe it's time that they do a little community service.
Also,
Yeah,
that'd be fine. What I would like is for Barry to write Sue Frost, to let her know that this is happening with the, because I think
The group home?
Orangeville gets overloaded with group homes.
We are, in fact, that's been a
Okay.
comment.
So, just make a note of it to her and CPAC, so that next time when they want to put another group home in here, we've got some.
Yeah, I have 2 in my immediate neighborhood, one right down the street and one just over near Sharon's house.
So I disagree with that.
Why?
Why? Because you're basing the actions of 1 or 2 children and trying to have a reflection on that on other group homes. And often, the situation for that is the simple fact that, most kids are not in those homes due to their own.
Right, I know,
So, I mean, having the amount of group homes here isn't relevant to the behavior. I think addressing the group home organization
well, it said.
with the letter from Barry is appropriate.
Right.
I don't think necessarily going to Sue Frost about how many we have here is appropriate.
Well, I'm just saying, instead of,
And
well, I kind of disagree, because these group homes come to Orangeville because we've got big pieces of property and large homes, so they can put,
there's a lot of group homes. Honestly, there's a lot of group homes everywhere.
Well-
There really is.
No, there is. I'm not.
And again, so here's my thought. Those kids need to be held accountable, right?
and the company needs to be held accountable.
So, well,
And that's what we
They're
found
running
out.
the facility, and they're supposed to watch these kids, and evidently, this is the second time it's happened.
Well-
What we found out last time is they didn't have enough supervision personnel on site. That's
that's
been the cause.
valid. That's valid and something we can address.
And that's what we need to let them know, is that you're lacking the supervision. You say you're going to get on it, and they don't. They drag it out, and then when they're caught, then they add people, and they say, we have a turnover. Their turnover is not that big.
So is there any consequences for this young man?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. The officer, Casey, said the child wants to apologize. Great, that's a good start. The limit for a felony for vandalism is only $400. I don't really have an interest in sending this kid to jail, bringing up a felony charge on him. But he's also expressed interest in working it off, helping us out. What I'd like to do is get reimbursed by the home,
Right.
if that's a possibility, and then have him, help with park maintenance, empty trash, pull weeds, whatever we feel, the number of hours, that would equate to $800.
Absolutely.
Well,
And I think he needs to sign something to the fact that if he fails to comply, right, then we will move forward with the felony charges.
I think the
So-
number one thing is that we get reimbursed so that the public doesn't have to pay.
And the home knows that they're,
Home should pay.
and the home will be responsible.
Right.
Well,
I know.
the home should pay for the expenses, but I'm saying that the young man needs to have consequences, and that volunteering, let's not make, hopefully that this decision will not be his defining moment, right?
Yep, no, I agree.
This wrong decision.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning his behavior in any way.
It could be a learning moment. I mean, I want to get my point across to him,
Absolutely.
how much damage it cost and how much time and effort of staff is required to correct it.
So has the repairs been made or not?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Just get the pricing on the repairs of the,
All right, so you're going to follow up at least with the group home about them paying for the,
It is, drag it out.
Well,
whatever. I
Put on
mean,
notice that their
the
license is going to be
number
held.
one thing is that we get reimbursed. And it'd be nice for this young man to make restitution also, but I think number one is that somebody other than the public of Orangeville should have to pay for this.
agreed.
So,
That I agree.
and I leave it up to you to try to figure.
yeah, I'll provide updates.
All right. So we're done with vandalism, I hope,
Yeah,
for today.
we're done with that.
Well,
part
for
of it.
today.
For today.
Today.
It was a rough month for vandalism and stuff.
And then,
Now go on to recreation.
then weren't you gonna, I was gonna talk about, I guess revenue, it looks like it was down, but you're thinking it's gonna be closer to normal?
Yes, yeah, good segue, because Jason's going to start off with recreation, and we had a fantastic month, revenue-wise.
That's basically you're talking end of May,
Yes.
to middle of June or
Yeah,
whatever?
no, this is just May, that
May,
this
right.
report is, but
All right,
it's
okay.
continuing into June, for sure. But this report only reflects May. Go ahead, Jason, I'll let you take over.
Yeah, for recreation, obviously facilities is in facilities jail. We can't do anything, and so to hit the marks in facilities is going to be incredibly hard. But for recreation, we are probably, I think I was talking with Barry about it earlier. I want to say for the first half of this fiscal year, we were at 30% of total revenue. We are now at 90. I forgot the exact percentage. Is it 93 total at this point? So for my numbers, just kind of off my little spreadsheets, and it's not 100% at this point, but I mean, we're only like $20,000 to meet our projected recreation money for this year, which is huge, I think, for what we're doing. So if we
Also,
conditions.
we're at the point where we're gonna get more money, or more is gonna have already come in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're only on June 10th. We still have till the 24th before we cut that line off. So it's an easy thing to attain at this point. So hopefully it all comes out. And if we really do well like we did this month, we were 34,000 above the projected, that we could make up the shortfalls for the facilities and have a really good year out of a really bad year.
Really impressive too is, the budget was created last June, July, when we weren't sure how long coronavirus was going to last. And I think at that time, the projection was, okay, maybe we'll have to suffer for like 6 months out of this fiscal year. So I thought the projections were pretty high. Like 400,000 was recreation program revenue projections. And I'm like, okay, well, there's no way we're going to meet that. Let's taper down our expectations based on coronavirus lasting into June. And here we are, the past 2 months have been fantastic. And as far as the rental revenue, sure, the buildings have been, pretty much, unable to be rented, but the picnic sites in the past month and a half or so, we have been able to rent those with guidance.
And I've been renting the heck out of the fields. I'll tell you that much. I've got, just like Barry's asking me earlier, is lacrosse supposed to be out there? Yep, I got lacrosse out at Oak and Filbert. I've got another lacrosse thing coming into week.
Lacrosse.
They were supposed to be here on this fields, but all of a sudden we got this the farmers market coming in. I'm like, can I move you? And they were very receptive, and I still somewhat have hold of Palisades if after today is their first time, it really was crazy, they can move half of it over that way.
There was buses, and it was fairly crowded. I mean, it wasn't packed, but it was pretty.
Yeah, oh, definitely. You know, I said it was one of those things of, obviously we want to do the farmer's market, and they were very nice and willing to move out there. So that was good.
Good move, Jason.
I want to continue on the recreation, and Mel has been hugely busy with all this too, and I'll let her talk about that, but some of the things that are coming forward, I mean, I'm looking at the first session of swim lessons, and yeah, I did pull back a couple lessons for each session just because, staffing's been crazy, but we're almost full in session 1 for swim lessons, and I don't think we've ever been this full. I really should have got the percentage of how many classes are left, but I mean, I was reading the numbers off to Larissa earlier, and I was just like, full, and that's huge too. Everybody's ready to get back and get things going.
Right.
Good sign for us.
But again, I'll let Melissa go on here and she can share with her news that she's had to be overly worked with.
Yes, so thank goodness for you guys. Nadia had to add a whole bunch of extra numbers to her camp today. Pershing and Ottoman with San Juan, they're doing summer vouchers. Barry was able to get together with individuals. I know Nadia took part as well. So starting Friday, we are receiving Pershing children, 550 of them received $200 each from San Juan. Ottoman followed suit with the same situation today. So that's 2 schools with about 550 kids each, and each child gets $200 to spend with our park district only. So we are doing that. We've got about $10,000 from Pershing in already, not actually in the bank. It won't be in until fiscal year next year, but we do have at least $10,000 in programs already enrolled. And then, like I said, Ottoman starts today, and we still have a lot of kids to put in programs, so our programs are filling very quickly. So we're trying to see where we can get extra numbers and extra programming and whatever we can do to receive the revenue and get the kids busy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's outstanding. And it all happened fast. You can tell the schools were probably just waiting. They needed to get through the school year before they had the energy to put towards these vouchers, but now they're coming in. And we also got word today from Green Oaks that they're also interested in getting a voucher program going. So we imagine that might happen soon.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And kudos to the school district. I mean, they got this COVID relief money, and they're putting it right back into the kids to
That's good.
some good summer experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, I just want to thank Mel for something else. This is all of our. Jason mentioned the field rentals, and that's been a big source of revenue. Picnic rentals recently, the past couple months has, but ever since this whole fiscal year, Mel has kept her contract classes going, and following the guidance, and I mean that's been a steady flow of income for us, and it's still going super strong, and now it's even going stronger because guidance is relaxing a little bit. We're in the orange tier. It allows for a little higher capacity within our facilities, and that's huge. And then of course Nadia with her camp program, her distance learning program throughout the school year was also another steady source of income. And the preschool, of course, was at half capacity, roughly half capacity. So we did what we could, and it looks like it's paid off. Nadia, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. It's been really busy and crazy. We've got our staffing together and currently doing staff training, and we're just really excited for the summer.
Side note, I went by the new pickleball court, and there were people this morning, and then on the way to the meeting tonight, there were
Busy.
more people. It's
Busy.
It's busy. It's not jammed up, but I'm
It's pretty busy. When I've
I
gone
would
by,
say
it's
just
been-
about every day there's somebody down there.
I've seen tennis players on the court too the last
Yeah.
2 nights I've driven by.
Maybe they're worried about the pickleball.
Oh,
people
they've been playing at night. I've come by,
Oh.
in the evenings, and they're playing in the evenings.
Yep.
So they're enjoying that light.
Yep, and that's good.
But just one more comment on recreation programs. It's, of course, recreation staff, behind, getting the programs up and going, but it takes the whole team and, the Parks Division, getting facilities looking nice and safe. Danny Rodriguez, maintaining our community center and his staff, Jason and his staff, and of course, Jennifer and her staff processing these things and keeping our customers happy, keeping the money flowing and their experience pleasant. So it's definitely a team effort, and I really appreciate everybody for that. Want to go on to parks. Horacio.
And just to kind of go along with what you just said, with the pool as well, we had a little issue before the more programs came in. The pool pump seal went out right before the opening that we had with the swim team coming in the morning. So I was able to get a contractor out and get it fixed right away. And they told us that pump assembly, it's on its last leg. So that seal assembly is not, it's not gonna take a lot because there's already chipping on it. So they're looking into see what our alternatives are because that pump assembly is obsolete. So we're looking and see what we're gonna do. This fixing will take us, hopefully I'm positive that it's gonna be a couple more years, but I'll update on that when I get the quote or see what the options are to see if we have to replace the pump. I'm not talking about the motor, just the pump itself. So,
weren't you talking about getting a 2-speed? Is this the same pump, or is this a different?
No, it's the same pump, but that's for the motor, the variable speed assembly for it. But this is just the pump itself. So it was leaking. Water was coming out of the pump, so we had to replace it, and it came around right on time because they're really short on parts right now. They're even having to wait up to 8 weeks just to get one part at times. So especially older parts that they need for the older motors. So there's a shortage of a lot of supplies. Chlorine is one of them. Though we were pretty fortunate that I placed that order 3 weeks prior to our chlorine going out. Plus we had the theft. We were like a day of not having chlorine for the pool. So God is looking on us and shining a light because everything kind of fit and fall in place right at a very, very good timing for everything because the busy season is going to start with the pool. So just kind of, like you said, a team effort for getting the programs going. So that's kind of what happened right before a couple of weeks ago. So another thing to note is that we just installed fall on the playgrounds, the wood chips for the playgrounds at Oakenfilber and Pecan. They were needed, and we got those filled up, so they're nice and fresh right now. A lot of people are commenting on them that playground looks good, and kids were playing with those chips all over the place. There was a lot of kids over at Oakenfilber for the past few days. So school is out, so kids are getting out. And here in the near future, we're gonna do Norma Hamlin and Almond to do it for the next fiscal year. So also there was a tree remover, a pecan, that eucalyptus that was dead. We removed it. It was it needed to go. There's another one that it's also on its way out right next to it. So eventually it's gonna have to be removed. Also, there was a tree that was wedged into another tree over at Sundance that was a little bit of a hazard because it was taking the other tree with it. So I hired somebody to get it down, as well as a branch that was extending over to Fair Oaks right after the bridge. There was just kind of a a little heads up for the drivers because it looked pretty low. So we decided to remove it. So they did both at the same time. And just continuing with the basic maintenance. It looks like it's going to open up, and a lot of people are starting to get out. So we're pretty busy.
Heads up, next week might be 100 or 105, so.
Yeah, over 100. So
Yeah.
it was 87 just a couple of days ago, or 90. Yeah, around 87, 92. So yeah, big difference.
Yep.
Thank you, Horacio. And then the last thing was the Footlook Camino report, and pretty quiet month.
All right. All right, so then we're on to unfinished business. We have none, new business. I guess, I'm assuming that SCI consultant, she's up there. Is she gonna be here, or?
Well,
Susan?
Susan's here, but,
Susan is
so
here.
are you going to take out an order?
No, I was just, we're gonna have to go into new business approval of all the resolutions, and I've got a little speech I've got to give.
Before we do that, this is my first time doing preliminary budget here, but do we want to get into the general fund budget before going to her, or we can just take?
No, that's fine. We can, the rules are, we can pull it, we can do anything we want.
Oh, well, I'd be careful with that verbiage, but
Within the boundaries of the Orangeville Recreation
I think
Park.
we should, to be just conscious of Susan's time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
pull them,
That's why I was holding.
pull them out of order and.
No, is she ready to
She's
go,
here.
or?
Yeah, Susan, are you available to
She
take?
doesn't have to drive here, so that's good.
Right.
I'm absolutely here.
All right.
Okay, there you are.
You okay if we go out of order and take your item first?
Whatever order works for the board is fine with me.
The public meeting, then we can get going with
Well,
that.
I want to just
Yep.
go with all the resolutions and let everybody have an opportunity to speak.
So
I
we're
have to
going
do this
for
for each of the items, right? Each
13A.
A, right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this, I'm opening the public hearings. I'm closing the regular board meeting. Open the public hearings for the Orangeville Recreation preliminary budget. Correct? That's for the lighting and landscaping, so that has nothing to do with the recreation general fund.
Right. We can come back to the general fund.
We're going to come back to the general fund. We're going to take the three items, the two items, OLAB and Kenneth Groves.
Yeah, and not the resolutions, just the opportunity for public comment.
Right. So we're going to go to 13B.
It would be 13...
D?
13D.
13D, okay.
D and E.
D and E.
D and E. So I'm going to close the regular board meeting. I'm going to open up the public hearing. These public hearings are to approve the budget and assessment rates for the Orangeville Lighting and Landscape OLAB and the Kenneth Groves Assessment District for the fiscal year 21-22. Public hearings give members of the public an opportunity to obtain additional information and propose levying, and provide an opportunity for members of the public to provide any additional input or comment to the district. At the end of the public hearing and portion of these hearings, which will be continued on July 8th, the board will confirm the engineer's report and direct the auditor of the Sacramento County to levy and collect the assessments for the fiscal year 20 to 2021.
Should be 21, 22, I'm sorry.
2021 to 2022. The procedure for today's public hearings will be as follows. First, we will hear a report from district staff about the landscape and lighting division. Next, we'll hear from, so the public, open to the public so they can speak and ask questions. And we'll close the public hearing and the staff and consultants answer the questions raised. And after the public's questions are answered, a public input portion of the hearing will be closed. It will it'll be closed for tonight and we'll continue it on July 8th.
Correct.
All right, so, okay, now I'm opening the public hearings for the lighting and landscape lab. If you are in person or wish to speak, please.
Oh, next is a staff presentation.
Okay, all right. Oh, excuse me, you're right. Parentheses, staff presentation. So Barry, and just you, I guess?
It's just me, yeah. So this public hearing is the last step in the process before the board considers to order the continuation of the levy of these assessments for the 21-22 fiscal year. We have asked the board to take any public comments at the public hearing today, and then to continue the public hearing to the next board meeting on July 8th to allow more time for the public to respond to the second public hearing notice, which is being published in the Citrus Heights Messenger. This meeting tonight, Orangevale View, which has a very large, it basically covers our entire district. It's delivered to their homes, and it's the best way for us to get the word out. The Citrus Heights Messenger is an adjudicated newspaper, which is also a requirement for us, so we're doing that this year, making sure that it is in an adjudicated newspaper. And that publication will go out, I believe it's June 18th, for an announcement for the board meeting on July 8th. So this public hearing will be continued for a second month. I'll be happy to answer any questions from the board or the public, and Susan Barnes with SEI Consulting Group is also here to answer any questions about the engineer's report or the assessment process. And with that, I introduce Susan Barnes to add to that. Anything to add?
I don't think I have much to add. I think that was a good description of what's happening, but as you stated, I would be happy to answer any questions that there might be from the board or from the public in regard to the engineer's report or the process.
Only question I have, Susan, are you going to be, you'll be here on the 8th also? 'Cause we're going to.
Yes.
All right, that's it. That's my question.
Okay.
All right.
And we have nobody from the public here in person. Nadia, is there anybody online?
We do have 2 people watching on YouTube and I think 4 on Facebook. So I'll check and see if there's any comments.
All right, so
What we'd like is, yeah, for anybody that is on Zoom. Oh, I'm sorry, that's your part. I'll let you.
okay, all right. So your staff is done?
Yes,
Susan is done?
as of now, unless there's questions.
Okay, so now I'm opening the public hearing part of the Orangevale Lighting and Landscape Assessment District. If you are in person and wish to speak or fill out a slip, but there's nobody here, if you are attending on Zoom and wish to speak, please write your name on the chat box and Nadia will take care and let us know and state that you wish to speak. When you are called upon to speak, please state your name and address for the record and direct your comments to the board. So I'll give them a few minutes. All comments are limited to approximately 3 minutes per person. Nadia, anybody wishing to speak? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and close this public hearing part. We'll continue it
Till July.
on July 8th. All right, so we're done with,
Thank you, Susan.
thank you. Well, she won't have to speak towards Kenneth Groves, but we got to do the same thing to Kenneth Groves, correct?
Yes, we should, yeah.
Okay. All right, so OLAB will continue on July 8th, and then we will not vote on it tonight, but it'll be voted on July 8th.
Correct.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open the hearings for the improvement of the budget of the assessment Kenneth Groves Assessment District. And I'll turn it over to staff to speak towards that.
I have nothing further to add, same comments that apply to OLAD.
And then I'm assuming Susan's not going to add anything Because there's, what is there, 150 people or whatever roughly?
With Kenneth Grove?
Yeah.
36 residences. 36 residences.
Okay.
Have they built on the lots that were divided yet? There was like 2 or 3 additional lots?
They're not done building. They got 2 or
Okay.
3 left. All right, so then,
Any comments, Nadia?
no comments from Kenneth Groves. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing part of that for tonight, and it'll be continued on July 8th. All right. So we've got part of the, we don't have to approve the resolutions, they'll approve those.
We'll do now we'll go back to 13A. Susan, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you needed to add?
That's it. I look forward to seeing you all on July 8th. Hope you enjoy your summer before then.
Me and Lisa will be in various parts of the other country.
Okay.
That is true.
Thank you for tonight, and that meeting is going to be open to the public, to give you a heads up.
Great. Okay.
All right?
We'll see you next
All
month.
right. Thank you.
All right?
Yeah, all right.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye now.
So, I guess we can approve 13A, approval of resolution 21-06-666.
Yeah, is there any questions at all? Just so you know, this budget does include a 2% COLA as a placeholder.
We'll get to that later, or is this a time to change?
Maybe, I think now might be the time for,
Okay, I'm going to propose that we raise it to 2.4. Because I think, as me and Barry were talking earlier, inflation is starting to rev up a little bit, so it may not hopefully go through the whole year. But I think 2.4, as the budget committee stated, was the cost of living from was that March to March?
that was March to March, correct.
So,
That's already in the preliminary budget, or will that be a
No.
change?
no, Finance Committee proposed 2%. The budget is
So
7.
the Finance Committee, they wanted us to reflect a 2% in the preliminary budget as a placeholder. They were aware that at that time that the COLA was, or the CPI was 2.4, and they thought what we should show the board is 2% in the budget, and also a 1.5, what that does to the budget. A little deeper into this, you'll see there are the two options, 1.5 and 2%. But they felt, the board should be aware that the 2.4% is what the CPI was. Since then, the last 2 months, it's jumped up significantly. Jumped up in April.
It's over 4%.
So it's like 4.7% now, because the last 2 months inflation has spiked. And
The difference is our cost is $2,800 for 2% and 33, 34.
yeah, if it goes to 2.4, it's roughly 33.5 thousand.
So, and we property tax, we're flush.
I know, I fully agree with you. I would actually like to see it a little higher.
Well, I know.
Honestly, because of what is transpiring. So, I mean, I would like to see 3,
Well-
right? If we went to 2.4, if we could do a 3, we're not quite at the 4, but at least it's something.
Well-
I mean, it'd be nice to be able to compensate a little bit.
But we're also going to raise up the medical a little bit. I think we're keeping it, we're not going to raise it. Are we
So the budget that you see does reflect a 7.5% increase in healthcare premiums, and it reflects 0 furlough, so basically eliminating the furlough, and it also reflects a salary scale adjustment for 2 levels.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the budget is healthy, and what we just mentioned with recreation revenue expecting to climb, that's also good news. That'll help us even more by the final budget. I do believe affording a 2.4% is certainly something we can absorb. 3% I also feel is something we can absorb. If we go to 3%,
I'm pretty,
3% will go to about 42,000.
I would just soon stick with a 2.4. So,
Can we revisit that?
what's that?
Can we revisit that in the coming months to
Well, let's-
see if
we
the
can always-
inflation has
we
peaked up?
could- Yeah, I mean, I would soon, let's pass the budget. We could look at it again in December or whatever to see what inflation for the full year is.
Make the adjustment?
Well,
Because I agree with Lisa. Inflation looks like it is going to raise its head. It
well,
already is.
I
It's
know,
indicating
but
that.
as the stock market says, it's like, it's come up, is it going to continue going up or is it going to flatten out? We don't know.
Okay, but
Well,
our
never-
administrator just told us
Administrative, the
We're healthy
budget
on both
increase at
fronts.
2%.
that we're healthy on both, and here's my thought. We have very good staff and teamwork, and our goal is always to have that longevity of keeping them here, and we cannot compete with some of the other districts, correct? But it would be nice to say, no more furloughs, we appreciate the efforts, as well as
That's a given on the furlough.
well, I get that, but, I mean, they sacrificed and stayed here and kept us going during this whole time. I mean, it wasn't easy. And it would, even though we can't do the 4 or the 4.7, it would be nice to be able to give a little bit more of that 3%.
And the COLA, as you all know, is just keeping up with inflation and doing our best to keep up with inflation. So, of course, that would all be very much appreciated by staff, whatever can be done.
I'd like to see
My
it 3.
proposal is 2.4.
Okay, well, we could do a vote on both, so at least it's established that the intent was 3%. So if we come back and visit it, it's on record that there was interest in.
I don't have a problem in 6 months, in November, December. See what-
We've
see
done
what
that before.
inflation has been doing. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we don't want to fall behind the curve too much. I mean, it might,
We're already behind the curve.
well, I know, but we can't make that up.
You're right, but we can help make a difference.
Well, the 2.4, I
And
think.
3% would help make a difference. It's closer to the 4 and the 4.7 than
Well, the 4.7
2.4.
is only over the last 2 months. It's just,
I know, but between 2 and between 4 is 3.
well, that's fine, but I'm not going to vote for it, so, but let's compromise and go 2.4.
That's your compromise.
Well, no, the Finance Committee said 2%. I'm saying we should do more than that.
I agree.
So,
3.
At the time of the Finance Committee meeting, it was 2.4, and that was
they wanted us to make aware of it. I'm saying, okay, we made aware of it. I think we should do 2.4. If you want to look up and add another 0.5% in December, that's fine. We can certainly do that.
Well, I agree the full board should be here for that consideration.
Right.
So, but, okay.
And their full
So
board's not.
if we table that, what's the...
No, we're gonna vote 2.4 tonight,
So,
with an adjustment later if there's
if possible,
justification.
depending on, let's see what inflation does the rest of the year. Let's see what the rest of this fiscal year is
Okay,
like.
I'm not...
so you want to call the question in November?
No,
Again.
I want to vote 2.4
Vote
right now.
2.4 now, but call the question at 3 in November.
We can certainly look again in October, November, whatever we agree on tonight. I don't care.
The full board will be here in August.
So okay, let me ask you this. Why tonight? Right? Why can't we wait until August when the full board is present?
Are we trying to approve the budget?
Yeah, we could certainly do it later and go retro to July 1. I think we could, if you agree on 2.4 tonight, then that could start July 1, and
Right.
then we could, whatever we add to that can go retro or can begin whenever the board agrees.
I believe you guys will remember 1% and then the 5% furlough. But the year before, we did the 2% that started July 1st, and then in August, we came back and it was actually, had been 2.9. And so you guys revisited and revoted, and I think we increased it, I want to say like 0.8, starting September 1st that year to kind of keep up with it. So that was 2 years ago, just.
No, that's fine, and then that's a good way to do it. We know March to March or whatever, when was the finance committee?
That was a March to March.
We know March to March was 2.4, so we're trying to match inflation, so let's do the 2.4. It's bumped up the last 2 months a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, but let's just,
Wow. Yeah.
let's just, part of it's the pent up demand, and part of it is
Well, releasing the furlough is a no-brainer. I mean, they've sacrificed that we're not giving them anything. We're not making up anything. They've,
well,
so.
Yeah, the furlough is making us whole.
So my motion is that we do the 2.4% and whatever the medical increase is, and then the 2 positions, we're going to raise them, 1.5
In 3.
Well, the medical's not getting raised, just to be clear, the 7.75% that Barry was talking about was what we, that was the best guess that Sac County benefits told us that they thought it would increase.
Right.
So we included that increase of cost in the budget.
But that won't.
But that's not changing any percentage that we're covering for family medical. I didn't want anyone to get confused with that. That was going to stay at 75-25.
Right, and we're going to continue.
That's where it's at now, yeah.
So we'll end up paying in the back half of the.
Correct, more, yes.
A little bit, whatever, I don't know, and I don't even need to know the number.
Yeah.
Because it's not a large amount anyway.
I think we find out what the percentage will be late August.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want
It takes effect in January.
well,
Yes,
there's a
correct, so it's
down
half the year.
further on, there's a proposal to end the furloughs. And I think we all agree that the furloughs, everything's going bad. We'll start July 1, give everybody a 2.4% raise, a couple of people a little bit more than that, and then we can look at it, start looking at it again August or September, whenever we see what the inflation is looking like.
Put that in your motion, and I'll agree.
Right, well, that's fine. That we look at it in September, what would be a better time, August or September?
The full board will be here in August, and that's when we're going to be approving the final budget.
Okay.
That's good.
If we're ready at that point, we can do it then, or we can table it.
So we'll call the question back in August.
Right, call it back at the August meeting, and that is what date?
It's the third Thursday.
Thursday.
Hold on, let me look at that
So
date.
everybody know, because we posted that in January, that meeting is always later.
Right,
I'm not
So
sure.
that would be the 19th?
yeah. That's when we get the numbers. That's because that's when we get the numbers.
Yep,
Right.
okay.
So
And all the if comes already in.
so we'll give everybody 2.4, and if we want to increase that another 0.5% or whatever it's going to be.
No, so the motion would be to approve the 2.4
2.4, and then,
with the consideration of bringing it back to the full board
Right.
in August for an increase.
to look at an increase. I mean,
That's okay.
Okay.
because
Yeah.
We got
That's
2 votes,
fine.
we got 2 votes here, so.
who knows what's going to happen between now and August,
Yep.
You're killing me.
Well, you got to learn to compromise a little.
You didn't compromise. You said 2.4, that's what was
Well,
that.
they-
I didn't go 4, I compromised at 3,
Well,
you didn't move
see, but
anywhere.
You're living in the last 2 months
No.
of the increase.
No, I know what they've already given up. They've already given up a lot for us. We're lucky. And I want to just be able to give them at least a little bit.
We're trying to keep up with inflation, and we don't, and
We're
I'm
not,
not sure
we're
what
not there. We're
Whatever, it's
behind.
well, we can
You
talk-
said we were behind the ball. You just said it just a little while ago.
Okay, all right, whatever.
So I think that the motion needs to include, correct me if I'm wrong, that we're going to, the furlough will be ending.
Right, well.
That's a separate motion.
Oh, that's a separate one. And
Okay.
so
But
you're
yeah,
talking
well,
about,
let's assume that we'll pass that.
We're going to go with 13A, the motion being to approve Resolution 21-06-666, resolution adopting the Orangevale Recreation and Park District preliminary budget for the general fund for fiscal year 21-22 with the 2.4 consideration for increase.
Right, and
And-
ending furloughs, do we have to speak to that or not?
So with 2.4 beginning July 1,
Beginning July 1 with the opportunity, with bringing it back to a full board at the August 2021 meeting.
so then does she also need
For 3% consideration.
Well, that's in, the two levels is in the resolution.
to, okay, gotcha.
So the only difference we're referencing differently is the 2.4 with the
Gotcha. Okay,
consideration
perfect.
to bring it back.
Right.
So that's why I don't need to mention the other things.
Thank you, Lisa.
So that is
Amen.
Now, that's my motion, or that's somebody's motion.
okay.
Right here, right here.
Somebody else?
Manny, you got it? Was that a second?
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion second. I think we beat this thing to death.
No, we didn't, but
Yeah.
Not whimpering yet, but
Thunberg.
okay.
All right, absent,
Montez, yes. Swenson, absent. Stickney,
yes,
Perez.
Yes. Got it.
right. So,
So now that's resolution approval of the Orangeville lighting, landscape and lighting assessment preliminary budget for, so let me read this.
we're not approving that because that's
we are approving
Yes, the
the,
budget,
budget.
yes.
this is just approving
The resolution for the preliminary
preliminary
budget,
budget.
which we do every year.
Yeah. The resolution after the final public hearing is the levying of the
Right.
assessment.
Okay, so we can approve that. All right.
I move that we approve the resolution 21-67, resolution adopting the Orangevale Landscape and Lighting Assessment District preliminary budget for fiscal year 21-22.
I'll second that. So let's vote.
And
We don't need any further
so
discussion.
that's Montez, yes. Swenson is absent. Stickney?
Yes.
Perez?
Yes.
Brunberg is absent. 3-0-0.
So then we're on
That was item
13C.
13B, so now we're at item 13C. I move that we approve resolution 21-06-668, resolution adopting the Kenneth Road Landscaping and Lighting Assessment District preliminary budget for the fiscal year 2021-22.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. I don't think we don't need any further discussion on that.
Okay, Swenson's absent. Stickney?
Yes.
Perez?
Yes.
Brunberg's absent. Montez, yes. 3-0-0.
Okay, we've already done D, we've done E,
We need F.
F.
I move we approve the resolution 21-06-669, resolution to end the furlough for the full-time staff at the conclusion of June 30th, 2021.
I second.
Thank you.
So motion and second. I think it was a foregone conclusion, so let's vote.
Stickney?
Yes.
Perez?
Yes.
Brunberg is absent. Montez, yes. Swenson's absent. 3-0-0.
All right, so let the staff know we appreciate their efforts and,
Their sacrifice and all their extra efforts up and above.
right, and I think in the long run, it helped us not be as in debt.
Helped us be where we are now,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is healthier than we thought,
Right.
which is another consideration for my
Time the decision was
argument.
made, it made a lot of sense.
All right, so let everybody know tomorrow that it won't take effect till July 1, and hopefully whatever furlough days they have, they'll use them up as soon as possible, so we don't carry that over.
Everybody should just have 1 or 0 left. It has to be used this month, so.
Okay,
Please encourage
so
them.
item 13H, Move that we approve, oh, wait a minute.
No, G.
Sorry.
G,
G, sorry.
We're gonna
skipping
table
G.
that. We're going to table that to next time because you have to abstain.
Yes.
So we'll put that on the July 8th meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I would like to know a little bit more, though, about item H.
Yeah.
Just a background, little thoughts.
So we're on H,
The
the
church.
community park. They want to hold some kind of.
Yeah.
Go into that a little bit.
Genesis Church looks to rent Antelope Community Park for a 4th of July service. So that's going to be 2 services.
No fireworks.
No fireworks.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
That was,
church service.
well, when you said a service, I wasn't sure if they were just going to conduct their church service there or if they were going to go like Destiny Church out in Rockland and Roseville and go like, you know?
Yeah, complete with carnival.
I think I'd be probably opposed to any kind of, with the fire.
Oh, we can't do fireworks.
Yes.
Right.
They did fireworks long ago here at the community center.
Right.
And there were cows gone forever.
Right.
Now, from what I read, it's 2 services plus games, I think a barbecue, like a lot of lawn games.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great.
But Jason, is there anything I'm missing? And where exactly in the park is it?
By the amphitheater there, they want to put in. They want to have music though. That's the big thing, and that's why we're here. Is that they want to actually have this music getting played as well. So they're going to amplify sound out.
That's fine as long as they're probably done by dusk or whatever.
Are they renting? I didn't see a,
Yeah, they're rent. They're,
Yes, they're
awesome. Perfect.
So yeah, so they just wanted to have some kind of church service because 4th of July is on a Sunday this year, and have something out in the park. They're going to have hot dogs, and anybody can come through to do it. It's not like just for the church itself. They're trying to open it up for anybody if they want to, and just have some on the 4th and use the park.
have the amps going towards the casa area.
They'll use the,
Yeah.
they'll use
Well,
the pavilion.
That's kind of how the stage is set.
All right, okay. No, that's
They
fine.
have the doors and
Where,
twisted sisters.
where are they
or something.
located usually?
They're in Roseville, I believe.
Oh, awesome. Well, welcome to Orangevale. Right on.
No, that's fine. That's,
Okay.
I think that's the only questions we had was
I'm ready.
as long as they're done by dusk and.
Yeah, I have what they wanted to do. They even said that what their time was on their application. They actually said we'd probably have everything packed up by 5, kind of thing. So
Well, I move that we approve the agreement with Genesis Church to hold the 4th of July service and event at the Orangevale Community Park on July 4th, 2021.
I second that motion.
All right. Manny, you got any questions, or
Nope,
can I go?
no.
Okay, Manny?
Yep, yes.
All right. Brunberg's absent. Montez, yes. Swenson's absent. Stickney?
Yes.
300.
Okay, so we're done with, we got 2 items for next time that we're gonna, well, actually, what is it?
Yeah.
We-
Got the,
Yeah, we got
Non-consent,
the non-consent items and then
the bow wow days.
bow wow days on the July 8th.
I won't be here to speak to it. but
Well,
I
that's
mean-
fine. Well, you can fly in one.
I'm not,
We'll do a
they
Zoom
have a
just for
special
you.
guest. She's going to send her dog in to talk about it and promote it.
Anderson will be here. She's with Helping Hands, and so she will be here to speak on it.
Great, great.
All right, so we've already covered item 15 items for next time.
The other items, just so you know, is, of course, Susan Barnes will be back for another public hearing. And we also have Blair Oss will be here to help us with a resolution for park development fees, the Nexus study that's being done. So it's just going to be a revision as to what districts are getting in
Okay,
park
and
development.
And maybe we can, and then,
that's all. But 2 of us aren't going to be here, so do we?
it's a quorum.
Would you like me to see if Blair can come in August instead?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But I'd like to see also the skateboarder on the future. I'd like to bring him in and listen to
But
him.
not July.
Not July.
August.
Yeah, August, September,
Yeah.
early September.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so directors and staffs, Nadia, you got anything?
No.
been busy.
Yeah, I'm ready for summer. We've been doing such a good job, like we keep saying, and like Lisa mentioned, we've really been working as a team. I think all of us have been picking up the phones recently. Megan, our rec specialist, is doing a great job helping with camp and everything, and we've got a great group of senior recs too, and rec leaders, so I'm excited about camp, and we have some new programs that'll be really cool too.
So starting Tuesday, are we allowed to bring people in then, or?
Yes.
Well, not right away, maybe the next week or whatever.
Well, we think maybe as soon as Tuesday.
Okay. Jennifer?
Yeah, everything's moving along. I want to echo what people were saying earlier about all the staff just really working hard, every year. Jason and Mel and Nadia, Jason especially with his aquatics, has so much paperwork to get in, and there's just a really thick pile that goes to all the staff, and so him and Larissa have been working really hard getting paperwork in for Sue and I, which is important and sometimes challenging getting from teenagers. So they've been working hard, and Nadia, so I really appreciate all of that. And yeah, the phone's crazy. Mel on the front desk just putting everything through is, yeah, it's been pretty nonstop. It's really exciting, and it feels really good to hear things going on in the building, laughter and kids screaming, and it's really, really nice.
Yeah, well, I guess
We're back.
I'll save mine.
So yeah, not much to add. I do want a little shout out to Curtis Bryant, one of our park maintenance workers. One of my goals for this year was to do ride-along, shadowing, tag-alongs with my full-time staff, and I did with Curtis a couple weeks ago, and he trained me on the small mower, and I worked a day with him by his side mowing Orangevale Community Park and getting a real flavor for what the guys have to do.
Got a flavor for one of them trees.
Yeah, I did. I did clip a tree.
Hey now.
A young growing tree, and yeah, guilty. But
You tried to fix them up.
Yeah.
But next week I'm going to do a tag along with Nelson Kirk,
Awesome.
and I'm trying to do a couple a month.
All right, good. That's Greg did. I was telling that Greg did that with a lot of the people. So
Good.
Cool.
let's see, Horacio, you want to add anything?
Well, just thank you to all the staff and what they have done. Even though, with the furloughs kind of we're making sure that we all take the furloughs towards the end, and just hanging on to taking care of the basics and still providing a good service. Right now, our biggest challenge is going to be irrigation and keeping up with our sports fields and turf. So special thanks to the irrigation team to keep an eye out there, and also to the public who a lot of the times brings some issues to our attention. So I would like to thank them for those heads up and emails that they sent on things that are happening out in the park, especially with broken sprinklers that we not always see. We have a lot of systems. So yeah, it's been great to see a lot of people out, especially the kids, now that we have a new park in the playground. So they're enjoying that. So it was great to see all the kids out of school now enjoying the park. So that's what I have to add.
Melissa, anything?
Thank you to the board of directors for passing that. And I do want to shout out to Christina and Kathy. They've really done a lot with the phones and getting everything going this last week. We had to recreate a whole system for Persian and Ottoman. And I know I don't say thank you to them quite that often, but definitely to them, and for all the other staff, Megan, Sue, Jennifer, Nadia, everyone who's been taking the phones, Jason too today. Thank you, everybody.
All right, did I already talk to Jason?
They're a funny phone.
Oh, you missed me. I did want to say this, so you guys probably didn't realize it today, but it's been well over a year in the making. We had public swim today. So, yeah. First time in a long time. I'm gonna get all the rust out.
Good point.
Do you know yet?
It went fine for what we had. We didn't expect large numbers, but I mean, it was like, oh, we got to fix this rope. I didn't realize that it had frayed off or this or that, so we got it all up there and running.
Good.
All right. Anything briefly?
Yeah, is our senior meal program, have we heard when they're going to come back yet, or?
Senior Meals on Wheels,
Well,
What? I didn't hear
the
that.
Meals on Wheels program. Go ahead, Mel.
So we've been in contact with them throughout COVID, Becky. But basically at the moment, they are not doing it. We're hoping they may return in fall, possibly winter, but they will not be returning for summer.
You might be in need.
okay.
Okay.
Meals on Wheels was delivering as well, but we did not know about that, so thank you.
Yeah. Also, the youth center park over here with the playground, is that going to be done? I know we were waiting for the work to be done and the fence up before we did the playground over there at the youth park.
We're not replacing the playground. We don't have any money.
Okay. Well, that was my question.
We would like to do it, but we don't. We can't do everything else.
No, I just want to know if we were going to do it. That's
It
all.
was brought up at our planning committee meeting as to, priorities, but that didn't reach the top.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I had. Thank
We
you.
thought the money would be better spent putting in the road or whatever we could do down there to open up that.
Absolutely, yeah. That would be my priority too, is get,
But we did talk about it. It was
Yep.
just.
that's all I need to know. It's fine.
No, we could spend all that money across the street too, but it's like what we want the most bang for our buck and,
Yeah, where do our nickels go?
right. Lisa, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I could get on my pedestal and continue about my 3%, but I won't.
Thank you.
I won't. However, I'm very grateful for all the staff. Hiroshio, please tell the maintenance that I send my best and I appreciate them, Jason and Melissa and all the staff, Barry.
Thank you, Lisa.
A tremendous job, a tremendous job. I mean, we are lucky to look at the numbers in the preliminary budget to see where we're at.
Well, no, it came out a lot nicer.
We are, I was...
100,000 and.
I was very impressed and very grateful, and I'm hoping that, maybe we can get a portable skateboard park and 3% later on. So, you guys be safe, be well, and be blessed.
Yep.
Let's see. It's been an interesting last year, and we covered, it looked, when we went in, we thought it was going to be not good, and then middle of the year looked really not good, and then come back up to being an average year, which is amazing, considering how low we got, and maybe the budget will end up showing a revenue part will be a plus.
Well, that's
That's
why
all
we have
good.
staff.
That's good. And the parks look really good. It helps to have
Parks look great.
That's where our
last 2
staff
weeks
comes
of
in.
even cool weather. We'll see how by the end of the summer with the drought situation does. And
Speaking of cool, are workers protected with heat protection, straw hats?
yeah, about straw hats. I think we offer them hats, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Okay.
we offer them canvas.
Our last safety meeting, that was our topic, was
Okay.
dealing with the
We have
heat.
sunscreen we give them, or if they want it.
That's it.
I know we do with our rec staff. Horacio, do we provide sunscreen for the park workers? Or do they provide their own?
I believe they bring their own. So I haven't gotten that cleared up. So we do not have any at the shop. I know that hats we do get them to.
Neck towels.
If you have any,
Cool off.
what was that?
The neck towels that you wet and cool you off about 20 degrees?
They have them at Winco right now for $1.24.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I just bought 16 of them.
she said over at Winco, they've got them on sale. They're pretty cheap at Winco.
Yeah.
So anyway, get back to my part. It's gonna be It's been a busy last 6-8 weeks, and it's going to be another, hopefully, busy, and we'll handle what we can handle.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn. I motion.
I second. All right. All in favor? Aye. So meeting's adjourned.
I've got a lot of things for you to sign.
Right, Jennifer.
3-0.
All right. Thank you. Good night.